Sorry guys, I'm just trying to process a lot of things right now. First and foremost, I hope everyone is doing okay. I am doing good. Could be better, but you know, that's just a part of life. We just have to keep going, and moving on is an essential part of just what I've been going through day to day. For the most part, you know, this live was just something that I had no idea would happen. Just to give brief context, there was just a lot of things that were being misinterpreted, that were going around to the point where I believe, you know, without, I think, this party's context, it would kind of result in a lot of people just speculating the wrong things time and time, and as that builds on, it kind of hurt a lot of the people in these parties, not just the party myself, but you know, just parties outside of DPR. So, you know, just to clear a lot of these speculations, and also just, I don't know, I've never really thought about it, but for the first time, just being able to just speak on my behalf is such a fucking crazy concept, but I just need to get things out for myself personally, because I just never felt like I had an opportunity or a chance to do so. So yeah, to be able to say that this is essentially something that I need is very much correct. And you know, like I too think that a lot of the different parties essentially don't really know exactly what I need or exactly what I want, let alone really have never really asked me what was going on with me. So, you know, to just clear it for pretty much everyone out there, and even like also the fans, you know, the fans deserve to know so much of what is meant to be going on and what is going on, for goodness sake, for the last 10 years, that it almost feels like it's not fair to even just keep going as it is. So to dead a lot of these speculations in the hope that maybe from this, the audience can grab what they think is feasible, what they think is solid ground, context and evidence, and maybe you guys can bring to light and make your own judgments about the situation. But today I'll be strictly speaking on my behalf and my experiences alone, and the things that I went through, and hopefully that'll give you guys enough context to bring into it to this present situation. And yeah, I'll start from there. I think number one of the most important things is to give context to any type of material that if you are going to make, whether it be certain types of accusations or certain types of speculations, there have to be some grounded context in order for anyone to make proper judgments, I would assume. And for me, I think it's just been the hardest roller coaster of these last, I'd say fucking 15 years, far out. So if I had to start, I would have to bring it back to the beginning, the very beginning of DPR. So where did this whole DPR shit come from? Like, where does this fucking movement even come from? So for me, when I finished high school, I wanted to do something big with my life. Like I felt like I've always had this calling, this gut feeling. I've always followed my intuition, and you know, by all means, my mom was the biggest supporter of that, you know, and I'm always forever going to be grateful. So that led me to my journey to Korea right after uni, and I was about, I'd say, 20. I just hit 20, I think. 20, yeah, fuck, that's pretty young. And, you know, I was just looking for some people to create some type of movement with, because I just felt like there was something that, like, I needed to do, and I just wanted to create just to influence and to inspire artistically. That was just my solid dream of wanting to create a movement. And most importantly, it had to be together with the people that I could truly trust and see my days on end with forever and forever. So I wanted to build like this community where, you know, people found a place to belong and everything. And, you know, that's what took me to Korea initially. So I went to Korea in my 20s, and then I met Live. That's where I met Live, and I felt like that relationship was fate and destiny. When I saw Live, it was just immediate connect. Like, it was like an immediate connection where, you know, like, you just don't get up. Now, I don't have siblings really, so like, if I felt like I really loved a brother and I really wish I had like a little brother, I guess that was 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗏. And you know, for me, like, he was also my greatest joy. You know, like, he was one of the biggest reasons why I found so much passion in the things that I do. So, you know, immediately me meeting him was like, hey, you know, he was just finishing school, and you know, he was about to take his next course in life, and you know, that was when the big talks were happening. And mind you, like, I was dirt poor. Like, I just got scumbagged out of all my money in the first 3 months. You know, maybe I'm just gullible like that, naive and stupid. But anyway, I just fucking, you know, like, I was living in this one room fucking office tel, and you know, with that, me and Live, at that time, 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏 was set out to do these things. I'll just tell him like, hey, we're going to do amazing things, because what I saw in him was just this, you know, when you see like a star and then it's just kind of glowing in some people, and you just know, like, oh, they're just meant for something. That's just how I felt when I saw Live. And at that period in time, you know, that was my way of really communicating to him, and really that's how we grew that bond. And you know, his trust over that was something that I'll forever be grateful for. So you know, fast forward, you know, like, this opportunity came, and I've somehow became an idol. And I thought at that period of time, I don't know what K-pop and all this idol thing was, but I just thought maybe this would bring us the proper amount of exposure to be able to do this movement, because, you know, I wanted to do it with Live. Like, that was like one of my biggest things. It's like, we've tried to make groups before, and it is us on fucking YouTube and stuff, but like, fuck, like, that was the dream, you know. And you know, Live at that time had to go to the army, so you know, he went to the army, and you know, for whatever it means, I had one of the most traumatic experiences of my life when I was in that idol group. My years of being in 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗏, and that was for some of you that don't know, that was the idol group that I called, was historically probably up to this date one of the most one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. If it really would change me forever, you know, at least to say, you know, like, just the harassment, like, just fucking, you know, fucking abductions and all that fucking shit. I know I can't really, I know, like, I've tried to do this interview with 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗏, but I had to be, like, there are things I can't say, just for not even my safety, but for others. But fucking hell. Just, you know, sorry, I'm just on the fence of, like, do I just fucking go for it or not? Just what they do to people, the humanitarian level is just, you wouldn't even treat anything in this planet, you wouldn't even treat your worst enemies like that. And it would be enough to drive anyone manic, or anyone to have some form of DID. That's not to say that was the cause of my DID, but it did not help for sure. So I'll try not to expunge too much, but that was just, it fucked me over. Like, it would be the epitome. Like, if my first fall in life, where I truly thought I could no longer go on, and trust me, I always have to habitualize the idea that life is not fair, and things would just not work out in towards the favor of the good and the kind. But I sometimes refuse to believe that. So I always believe there's an authentic way of getting to people, and a more genuine way of fucking doing things, you know, like, just fucking doing it. But you know, like, the idol days would be a true testament to that. not even just exploitation. It was just it's just a little heavy to talk about right now, and I know this is why we had to redo a lot of the videos, Dre, and I apologize. But I mean, anyway, point being, I just wanted to fucking end it, you know. I just wanted to fucking die. Once that was happening, I was slave to like an 8-year contract, I believe. 3 or 4 of which I was, once I signed to the Idol as the Idol artist, it was an 8-year slave contract, 8 years, I believe. Before that, trainee, I was about 2-year trainee. But least to say, it's just the worst time of my life. The constant abuse every day, the fucking manipulation, the violence, even not just for me, but for my members. I had an innate habit to always protect those around me. I could have just fucked off to Australia. You know, they couldn't touch me there, but, you know, there were threats being made to not just me, but my team members, family members, and etc. So, you know, just for further reasons, I will not disclose anymore. So we were in a bit of a pickle at that time. Mind you, every day was just like death. It was like off of pure spite and fury. The things that they would do to you are just fucking explicitly. Sorry. I promised myself not to get angry, but just keep it cool. Yeah, so it took a lot just to get over that moment, and when I did, it was more like it was more of a escape than things being resolved. And I'm sure you know, in today's day and age, even like just how the industry really works, especially not towards the favor of a lot of the idols. The company really has them by everyone by fucking balls. So, you know, our generation was not any different. And at that period of time, there was no real cause and push for social media and influencers and stuff like that. So, you know, we were pretty much held quiet. Anyway, so 8 of which we've only done about 2 to 3 years, and before that, after that, my CEO died, and by that time I had went through too many things to the point where I felt like I couldn't return to myself. I still remember, I think that was when I could not believe, when I blacked out. That's when I started blacking out, ladies and gentlemen. Before that, it was not too bad, but then after those experiences, I started experiencing a lot of my blackouts. I'll say blackouts in long interval periods of times where I'll just switch. So coping with that was just a whole nother beast, but I knew for me to survive, I just couldn't conform to the level that I thought those scums could get to. I didn't know I could get that destructive, and not just me, but I did not know I would want to be that destructive to people. I just never thought I had it in me, really. So, you know, life was luckily there to take me out of those moments. And so I promised myself that day and going forward, that DPR would be the emblem and be the fucking sign to absolutely going against, number one, the system, which I fucking hated. And number two, most importantly, I felt like I needed to live. So my gauge was pulled back to the very existence of where I thought I just could not come back from. And I was on the verge of just ending it all, really. And, you know, life pulled me back in, and it was like, hey, are we going to do this or not? Like, are we going to go hard at this movement? And I was like, yeah, you know what? fuck it. No matter how beat and no matter how hard it's gonna be, you know, I truly think that I need to keep my promise, keep my responsibilities, and just fucking have a hack at life, really. So DPR was my salvation, ladies and gentlemen. It was the very thing that kept me here in this world. And that would be the start of me finding these people. Like Scott, I remember I didn't really click off with him at first, but I remember he just was broken. Like, this dude just needed somewhere to belong, and you know, he was on the cusp of going back to the States, but I knew he didn't want to, and I knew he was struggling to find a place of his own. So my reach to him kind of felt like, hey man, like, I want you to feel like you deserve something. I want to do this with you. And likewise, we had like all these other people that I brought in at that period of time. One of which would be my secretary, which I would later disclose why that's such an important information. Where do I begin? Because I was held to a contract at that time, which disallowed me to continue any further promotion as an artist or put my name in any type of trademark or any type of form of media, I found a loophole where it was like, so do I just make an alias? And obviously it's just, as long as I don't promote under a certain type of label, I'm still allowed to make money from other forms, other fucking mediums. And that would be, ladies and gentlemen, where I would start videography. Mind you, before that, when our team was struggling, I had to be the contents and media team for my company, and I didn't get paid for that. We were in debt. Apparently, I was in debt. I'm like this shit. I was in debt for about 700K, I believe. The number was $700,000 in debt. None of which we had a choice. I'm sure you know of how much we're allowed to spend, and they're just fucking using money, and God knows where. So my history with money is really all not that good. You'd think you'd learn, but you fucking don't. And so fast forward, I found a way to really bring myself back up, find a new piece of medium where I can truly feel like I can dedicate my whole life to, and that was videography. At that period of time, I think I was about 24, 25. And during that process, anyone that does production knows how fucking hard it is to just do like lighting, from lighting to art, to shooting, being your own DP, borrowing those equipments, returning those fucking equipments, putting it on a hard drive, fucking exporting and importing it, making sure those hard drives are fucking backed up, and location scouting, all of those shenanigans, I would do for the next year or two, solemnly by myself, and with some help from Scott, which, you know, he would be the one that would just kind of, you know, maybe if my art was here, if I made something here, he would maybe distribute it. When the phone calls would come in, he would pick up and he would be like, okay, maybe this will be your clientele, so just hooking up with the clients and stuff. But for the first year or two, I would make about, I'd make about like 10, 20 videos for unnamed and unmarked artists. And, you know, the whole plan was to funnel this vision. I can't be an artist, obviously. So my next thing was, man, live. When he told me and he said he wanted to become an artist and he wanted to become a rapper, I believed it. Like, I believed this was the calling. Like, this was it. Fuck, bro, here we go. This is it, man. Like, I was so pumped. So all of that video and editing and all of that, like, I edited my own videos, I shot my own videos, and I did that time and time again, endless sleepless nights for about a year or two. And I hit the mark where, you know, that's how we started like getting bigger budgets. So I started shooting like Barbie and Minnow, and, you know, and I still would do this solemnly by myself until I could find a crew. But where did all that money go? Hey, like where? So I didn't get any of that fee. I got like a freelance fee from that because our plan was to get the money that we got from shooting all those videos, right? So those, imagine like fucking 20 videos, just doing it fucking. So all those videos that I've shot, I just got like if you were to say, you probably get like 10%. Sometimes I'll get none. I think the reason why I say I got none is because if I had to ratio out the times that I would use more of my money to make that video look good, it would be me. Mind you, this is all, like, I held myself accountable for doing those things at the time because it was a choice. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a choice. I wanted to do that. So I don't regret doing that. I'm just saying all of that money that I've ever made in the last 2 years of shooting, editing, fucking returning all these things like equipment, carrying like all those things day in day and after 3 days of shooting, sometimes 4, was being now put into like this little capital. We did not have any investors. We did not have anything. So our money mule was literally just what I shot and what we could get in. Come on, what we could fucking draw in. And everyone was playing that part at that time. With Live was making his music, and like when I heard Live's first track, like Till I Die and all of that, I'm like, bro, this is it. Like this is like the golden calling, man. Like, bro, I just knew it. Like this song at that specific moment in time, like no one was doing it. No one was doing it like him. Like no one was talking about real shit. Everyone was struggling. Like everyone. When I see 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗏, I was like, man, I gotta help this guy. It doesn't matter if I'm struggling. I gotta help this brother, because just if I didn't, I just felt like there's just no other means of going by. Don't even ask me why. So I didn't care if all of that money that I ever like worked to get, like if that money was being now transferred into investing into 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏's first album, right? Then bro, that would be the place to put all your money into. We went fucking all in. We put all of that work, all of that money into 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏, and thank the Lord we did that, because for me, that was the only thing that kind of kept me up on my feet. Like, it was worth it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, for me, that was the pinnacle of why I was doing it. It really was. It really was the pinnacle of why I needed this to happen. And, like, I was thankful to Scott. I was thankful to 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏. I was thankful to Live. I was thankful to Cream. At that period of time, like, these boys were the boys that kind of ended up at that last at the scene of like, now from here, guys, we have to now hold hands and let's go in. All right. The thing is, like, I mean, I don't even fucking know, like, to be honest now, knowing what the situation has happened, like, I don't even know how much money Scott would have taken or something. I don't even know at that period of time if that thing would have fucking started. But again, just so to speak, it's just, that was in my 24s or 25s, and listen, I was happy to do all of that. And from those efforts, not just from me but from others, we would go on to make Coming to You Live, the first album, without any investors. If anyone really helped me with the financial aspect, it was my mum. I'll fucking borrow. So sorry for borrowing money from my mum, but it would be my mum. Like, I'll borrow money from my mum, and my mum would pretty much funnel whether it be my software, my equipment. So she would be that. She'll be the number one investor for me then, I guess. But again, without that, I don't think anyone in the team really understands at that period in time how crucial it was for me to get the connections that I got, for me to understand how the whole industry worked on this end. And through that, I was able to appreciate how much people were working on the back ends, especially for production. Fuck, these guys do this and they go unnoticed. Fuck, how much you guys are doing here? Like, oh my God, and you guys got noticed. Fuck. And for me, it was so important to highlight, what people were doing around for others, as opposed to what I was doing for anybody else. Like, for me, if I need to validate that for everyone, especially for the team that I'm on, what the fuck is the point of me doing this? Like, why is it so important for me to validate something that I don't really even need securing for? It comes from a genuine place. It's like sacrificing. Like, if I was to really perpetuate the meaning of sacrifice, it's like I will do something for you, and you not knowing that forever till you die, I'm cool with that. That's the whole point. If I wanted you to know it, I don't think that's a sacrifice. Sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent. But anyway, with that being said, that's how we went to C2IL. People thought we were like the sons of Samsung or something, because we came out with 6 videos just fucking ramming with all these features, and these songs were just phenomenal. Like, his album was just something that, like, we've just never seen on the scene. But we've never also seen a production come out of a independent underground label such as us. So they just immediately went to the conclusion, oh, these guys are like the sons of these, like, you know, big investors, big companies, big money, and they're just using the money off of their parents and stuff. Because where are they getting the funding? Fuck, you know, I don't know. For me, that's bittersweet, because I'm taking it as, thank you for complimenting the fact that you think that this is done with an extreme amount of money. Otherwise, we cannot pertain this quality. But at the same time, it's a bit jarring, because it's like, it's also a bit of a shame, because, you know, like, it really doesn't come from that. It just really comes from how much everyone is putting into this and spilling into it. And that album would take off. I knew it. I just fucking knew it. I just fucking knew 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗃 had something, and I knew people would just, you know, this guy would shine. Like, I just knew it. Like, I just felt this gut. And again, I just have this, I don't know, this crawling to just need to take that out of people and just, you know, like, bro, see, you could do it. This is who you are. This is like, bro, you were meant for it, you know? And, you know, like, that's how now I'm going to introduce you to this person called Jeff. A lot of people that speculate that this Jeff person came in right around the time DPR fucking broke up into this fucking shenanigan and was, you know, trying to get into my ears and all of that is not true. It's not true. Let me just give you a formal introduction. Now we are at a point, now that you know, where Scott meets Jeff. Right. Scott introduced Jeff to the team. We didn't have an investor. We didn't have somebody that was being our capital, where we got the investments from people. We had to, like, borrow certain lump sums of money to propel us into the next future us. So in comes Jeff. So he was somebody that I think we were all kind of, we didn't know too much, because, you know, Scott was a middleman of all of that. But Jeff was somebody that saw our vision. This is how I got it, right? This is just my perspective, how I felt about this. So Jeff saw us, believed in our vision, because at that period of time, like, oh, who are these kids on the block? Believed in us, and just decided to, hey, have just a fair go at these kids. And I remember, like, he provided us the facilitations, the fucking space. I'm sure our fans know the space that we had a long time ago in Korea. Our office, that was all provided by Jeff. He would provide us with new equipment, new materials, new mic, new cameras, all of those things to pretty much fund, I guess you could say, the next thing. Because at that period of time, I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to stop shooting videos for third parties. And I wanted to really focus just purely on our own dudes. I mean, could you blame me? Fucking shooting one of those videos took at least 5 years off my lifespan. anyone that works in Korean production, especially Korean production, knows how fucking hardcore it is. But you're doing that at 25, especially with a system that people are so very against. It has an ingrained hierarchical system where they see somebody such as that, a figure that's like 25, and like, you're the director, and you're just having to constantly fight for every single fucking thing you have to do and prove to yourself, is another maniacal war that I just thought I would not get into. But for better or worse, it shaped me into becoming the resilient person that I am today. And I'm truly blessed for those experiences and those moments that would shape me into the person I am today. So with that being said, did I want to do that constantly for other artists and other companies? No. I've wanted to focus on tapping. Like, I wanted to focus on our dudes. Like, it didn't mean anything to me at the end of the day. I was doing that so we can make money, right? None of which obviously I was pocketing. I just needed to know that was where our income was coming from, so we can go to dudes that we actually believed in and we loved. In comes Jeff, and he gives me this, just personally gives me the space to let that down. That's a huge part. This is something that, again, like, I don't expect any of our other team members to understand, but fucking hell, if I couldn't let that down, I couldn't go on further doing the things that I had to do. Shooting, renting, fucking lighting, arting, and fucking editing day and night. I did not want to become the world's greatest director. I just needed this tool, and I needed to believe that I could believe in this tool to help our vision on what we wanted to do. People had a choice. People wanted to become the artist. People wanted to become the management. They wanted that. They had the role to fulfill, and they fulfilled it. Now, what you guys say about what you do and how much you do, it's like, it's all fine. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of essentially why we were in it for doing it. But I didn't really care about any of that. I just cared about, so what's the next step, guys? What do we do? How do we get from here and here and here? And mind you, like, when Jeff came in, his first project with us was Jasmine, right? I was trying to find all these ways to make money, like save cost, but have the video look good. That in itself is something that I try to garner towards, in terms of, like, there must be a more efficient way of doing things, production-wise. Any director, anyone that's in videography would be attuned to these thoughts as well, because it's like, man, if I could get away with this type of quality with that type of camera, fuck, we can easily make this into a high quality production video, and hence 𝗏 was born. Mind you, up to that period of time as well, I was also part of the song making process. I was part of the creative conceptualizing the creative aspect of it. And obviously the whole video and imagery and all of that and editing and all of that, I did that, right? I did that for the most part. So just so people understand, if you're new here, this is just what I do. And everyone did their own part. Like, Cream did a shit ton of it for the production. 𝗏𝗏𝗃, went on with his making his song. He was the main artist. He was like the dude. He was the face of DPR, the representation of what people would see. Scott would be I guess you could call the management, where he would do the PRs and and not even just, we did A&R all together, to be fair, but we didn't really have like a good PR agent. We didn't really have a good, so it was, to be fair, it was just a lot of organic growing, as you could say. Right. Okay, fine. So just to give you an idea of where we were at now, 𝗏, that's the album. So Jeff is the investor to funding all of that. Mind you, this person was somebody that we couldn't really get close or in touch with because Scott was in the way. But let alone if he was someone that was shady later in the investigation of what was to happen, we could have all easily just ordered everything. Like if he didn't hand this amount of money, we had everyone just audit everything. But that's not for this conversation right now. I'll get back to that. The reason why I say this is because he's now like out in the public and being accused of such and such and such. Let me just give you context to now where we're going. So her album happens. Mind you, I'm still not getting paid. Like I'm still getting paid a freelance fee. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like we're going up. We're succeeding. Everyone like seems to be. I mean, something's happening. Something seems to be working. We went on our tour, our first tour, but something seems to be happening because I feel like for some reason we're just going up. We're just going up. Did I expect anyone to be making money? No, I didn't. I was that stupid. I was that naive. Like, did I ever think? Would you ever question, like, with the people that you have? Would you ever question, like, oh yeah, with the history that we have, that somebody later on would be distributing money in the most unfair way? No, because in your mind you'll be like, okay then, but who would do that? Who would be dumb enough to fucking go there? Who would be fucking stupid enough to do that? Because they know once somebody finds out, wouldn't that mean the end of it? Wouldn't that jeopardize everything? Like, would you be willing to put that at risk? Like, really? Like, after knowing everything that we've been doing, like, really? So I had no reason to suspect, even at that time. I just thought no one was making money. I was still, during that period of time, I could only make money if we did projects. That was the freelance fee. Mind you, part of the big reason why we never really discussed the ownership, I guess you could say, of DPR was because everyone knew that I had to be a big portion of the ownership of DPR. But at that period of time, I wanted to be careful because I was still, mind you, I was still under another contract, which might have deferred me into maybe fucking something up here. So I just wanted to make sure until my 8 years of that slave contract was up and fucking ready, that only then I would be in the talks of becoming ownership of DPR. I was cool with that. To be honest, I don't even fucking care about that. But fucking hell. Anyway, sorry. Calm down. Anyway, so mind you, at that period of time, the reason why I say this is because once my company started seeing, not DPR, but my former idol company, once they started seeing that I was making money, or well, what from their perspective, like DPR was going up, they struck a deal with me. This motherfucker struck a deal where he was like, give me a cut and percentage of how much you're earning with DPR. In return, I will probably find a way to shorten your contract sentence. Like your he was bargaining with me. The audacity. Sorry, it's just my day-to-day. Fucking hell. And that was the reason why, because I know they were onto me. So I did not want to give any type of leeway into having a possibility that could fuck up and be a liability to our future state. So that is initially why I think we were cool with just kind of having Scott as the placeholder. We did not give any meaning otherwise to that, and we all agreed. That's how we all knew it. I mean, I don't know if that was his fucking way of tricking us, but fucking hell, we all believe it. Like, that was just a name on paper. You guys got to understand, the reason why I say context is so important is because our structure, DPR structure, is one like none other that I've ever seen. So you can't really even formulate a blueprint for this. Because I'll be honest, the person that is really getting freaking screwed here is me. Like, I'm already, like, the system, someone like me, I know it's already rigged for someone like me. Like, I already know it's fucking rigged to someone like me. To me, I'm like a fucking gold mine to somebody that could do this and this and this and this and this, but not get paid for this and this and this and this. Anyway, point being, I just had to make this clear because, again, where I'm trying to go to is, all right, so if 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏 stops at any period of time, like if it just stops, like, oh bro, I can't make music anymore, the money flow stops. Meaning not just the money flow, jobs. Like we're all about 15 of us at the studio, like, what do we do now? That's when I decided to make Instagram TVs. I'm sure, again, for my OG fans and stuff, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I had to find another means of making videos. So when, you know, our artist got into an artist block or a slump, as they say, we had to find means of trying to keep funneling some type of cash flow. This stress would be always on my mind. Like if there's, because again, like I can only make videos off of one-offs, right? I can only assume that nobody's making any money because fuck, if I'm getting this much, like imagine, I'm just imagining how much everyone else is getting. Like it's just jack shit. At that period of time, Scott was living with his mum and dad. I believe everyone else was renting. So for us to be able to pay rent and still strive and still pull off the qualities that we have to do and put our own fucking monies into it, like it was a day to day. Like I did that fucking, I did that CNC clown. I mean, you know, how much more is it going to hurt me now? If anything, this was healing me day by day because I was finally being able to do the things I wanted to do with the people that I loved and with the people that I believed in. That was everything for me, everything. And so I turned a blind eye, you know, and mind you, I'm not somebody that's so into finances, so into like money. I hate making it about that. I understand the importance of it because it's important for other people and they value it like that. And because they value it like that, and if they're part of your team, you should also be acquainted to caring for that. I understand that now. I understand that. However, for me, I'm just someone that needs money in order for me to just put it back in to do bigger things. That's just the reason why I see it. And even till this day, when I started doing those Instagram TVs, that's how we would land a lot of the commercials. Like that's how we got, like a lot of the sports commercials, sports brands that would contact us and be like, we wanna work with you for videos like this. You know, we wanna work with, we want a video like this. And that's how we would start shooting commercials. And that also would be like a form of money and branding that we can get in terms of investments. Fucking hell. Now, like, it wasn't all sunshine and butterflies. During that period of time, I was going through my most maniacal fucking period. Because I was having to deal with my bipolar and my depression and my switches from what 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝘃 had done to me, and I was still not being able to process it during these periods of times. So I devoted myself and everything that I had into the work because for me it was a means of survival. If I did not, if I had even just looked under the rug in which I swept all the shit under, I knew it would fuck me up. And I made a promise I'll never go back there. I'll never be the person that I was when that had happened to me. I solemnly promised me and my brothers and my family, just fucking keep going, you know, just keep it going. You got this. So there were periods of time where we would experience I guess you could say, a financial loss, for example. Like, for example, is anybody out there for 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃's album was something that we took a huge financial hit to. You know, I thought, man, if we kept doing production like this, or if we kept doing stuff like that, it would be something that I thought we could still be able to process. But once we took a hit after like a long period of time, it was so hard on 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃. It was so hard on Scott. It was so hard on me. It was also so hard on Jeff. Because I was there and I saw all of that. Like that was the first time I saw Jeff. And honestly, that was the first time I kind of got to know him a little more because you know, like I thought, fuck, like what's happening with all the money behind the back? Like, is this guy like, because I was very attuned and very sensitive to not wanting to really disappoint a lot of the people that believed in us. But at that period of time, I knew this guy was like losing so much money because of how much, so he had to, like Jeff had to go out and convince these big heads to reinvest in us, right? Even when we were at a deficit of like just such a big financial loss, and part of that I've always blamed myself because of just the amount of money absurd amount of money that I think I use in some of the videos. So I never wanted to put Tabin in a situation like that again. Like I promised myself at that period of time, I never ever want to put Tabin or anyone, but Tabin mainly, in a situation like that ever again, like ever. So, because again, financially, I didn't fucking make anything from that, but still, it is what it is today. Amazing album, but still, it took a hit. So now I'm just stressing out about how do we bring this guy's spirits up? How do we bring this dude's spirits back up? But also, how do we create another channel where if something has a slump, like maybe we could do this. Mind you, all in all while this was happening, I got news that my contract had ended fucking ages ago, and the CEOs of that company were just hiding it from me. And I heard this from a member, and I was like, why didn't you just tell me? Because, and you know, obviously he was threatened not to tell me. But that contract was terminated ever since my CEO transferred to another company, dating the old company. But they held such a fucking good facade, and that threat just held so. If you're getting fucked every day, constantly, 24/7, it's like you can't imagine the headspace you get into, the trauma response, the PTSD. Like you just don't. There's no place for you to have any critical thinking or whatever. There's just no place for you. It's just survival. So when I heard that, I thought everything started aligning, and my first decision and first thought was like, okay, it wasn't like, oh yes, let's have a conversation about revisiting like the shares and everything for DPR. No, it was, and this is what me and Tabin would always talk about. We'd be like, hey, isn't it our job as creatives to create? Yes. We should have some interest in what's happening with the money aspect, correct. But if we have these brothers and, you know, we trust them with everything we're doing, shouldn't they, in their jobs as management, business, finance, whatever, be the first ones to reassure us, like money's being used like this, like this, like this, like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially knowing us and knowing him, like characteristic-wise, wouldn't you also expect that? But now, you know, I just always say, expect not to expect. Simple as that. And the reason why I say this is, so my next point was, okay then, maybe it's time for me to start my artist career. And me and Tabin always talked about this, like, fuck, wouldn't it be amazing if we do this together? Like, wouldn't it be so fucking amazing if our universes eventually later like collided, and like this whole story that we're element of being an artist together was sold it to me. Like, it really was. Like, it was, time and time I'll tell people on the interview, I was on the fence of becoming an artist. Because for me, becoming an artist only means I'm projecting and too much more power onto my mental disorders already. Like, I didn't, that risk to reward ratio was something that I just couldn't imagine, like, what was to happen to me. But for me, it was, I felt like it was time. I felt like it was time to really, really start that lane of like becoming an artist. And I thought everyone was happy for me because, like, we're in the same boat. Like, I just thought, bro, like, why would he be happy for me? And the first response I got from, Scott was, no, you can't. And I'm like, Like, what? So who else would be able to do the videos and all that? And I'm like, don't you think I can take care of that? If I was already part of this, part of that, part of this, made this, made that, made this, do you not think I could do another lane while protecting this? Do you not think I've ever thought about that? But besides the fact of that, why the fuck why are you saying no to it? And I still remember, and he was like, no, because he thinks he can't control me. He thinks if it worked in any way or shape or form, that I was going to be too hard to control in the future. And I don't know why, like, what? I mean, why would you want to control me? And obviously those moments were the moments where all these red flags started happening. You got to understand, before all of this, like, I see a lot of sides to Scott where Scott only shows to the team. And I see a lot of sides where sometimes I see where it's like a very soft, empathetic side. That side I try to nurture, that side I try to help. And for me, I've always set it up as a challenge for me to really, really help this dude. Like, I just really wanted this guy to be able to not put up a facade of like a strong fucking butt hurt, like fucking, you know, like so like insecure dude that just has to go around getting some validation. I feel like, bro, you can drop it. Because the dude you are is a decent dude. Like, why do you have to keep doing that? Because somebody has to be the bad guy, he will say. I'm like, no, I mean, I get the logic, but we're not being bad. Like, no one's slacking off. Everyone's going in. Like, if you keep projecting that, how would that make life feel? How would that make Cream feel? How would that make Chunyong feel? And because of those moments, it would propel us into these like complex thoughts of like, fuck, okay, let's just understand this guy. Let's just fucking, you know, bat and like, bro, let's just put it down. Let's just put it down for this dude, you know. But fuck, you don't want me to become an artist? And I still remember, I'm like, if you told me that you wanted to become anything, but all of a sudden I was like, Scott, if you told me and you just, let's say you wanted to become like a chef. Just randomly. Oh, you know what, I can't do DPR, I want to become a chef. My first response to you would be, fucking good for you, man. Let's find a way where we can make that happen. That would have been my first response. It wouldn't have been like, oh my God, like what, like... sorry if I'm getting too heated. But that's what I lived with. That's like, you do all of that for these... You're doing all of this for these people. And, you know, your social life's not there. You're blacking out every day, every night, every now and then at home, not understanding what you're blacking out to. And, you know, you think deep down everyone's not getting a piece of the pie and everyone's putting their money. The reason why I thought no one was getting a piece of the pie was because as any entrepreneur, everyone just has to invest initially. And as the people that were leading it, I just thought, we can make money later, but we have to put in more to retract that, to get that back later anyway. So it's not really that important. It's about how this guy looks, as opposed to oh, let's skim out on this and, you know, let's like settle for this. Like, you can always find ways to make money, but you can never ever find ways to rebuy certain experiences and certain moments. Like, those are just everlasting and those are just timeless. They are things that pass after a certain time. Time is like that in general. Everything that passes will never come back. So for me, it was just more important to reinvest into moments where I knew would be historically just there forever, permanently, as opposed to like, oh yeah, let's just have the money later on and just use it then. It just didn't make sense to me. So I just thought, okay, everyone was fucking pouring their pockets out. No one was really making anything from this. Because everyone would just be complaining about how much money they're not really making. Everyone was struggling. Cream had to sell his car at one point. I was borrowing money up till Tabin's final album in DPR, which was 𝗟𝗃𝗃. 𝗟𝗃𝗃, mind you, I did 2 videos on that. And I started doing the whole run and gun thing where I'll borrow the equipment again myself. I'll do I'll be the DP, the lighting and everything, and I'll find all these fucking locations over the span of the next 2 months while I debuted, by the way. And this is the funniest thing, all right? This is the fucking funniest thing. If you're an artist, right? If you're an artist, you say you're the artist, and you shoot and direct and edit and everything of your own video. So how do you get paid for that then? How do you, is that a separate thing? Like if you're under an artist contract and every money that you invest into your artistry is going to be, let's say, I mean, unless it's a ridiculous amount, but like, let's say you invested in it and obviously that's the debt you make. Unless you could fucking start knocking it off of your streams and stuff, you're not going to see any way or means of making any money back, especially. And then what about the whole editing fee? What about the whole VFX fee, the color grading fee, the director's fee? Shouldn't that be all separate? In a perfect world, that would have been so fucking amazing. Why wasn't that conversation ever brought up? I don't fucking know. So yeah, became an artist. I was in debt because obviously the money that I used for my own music videos, shot, editing, obviously didn't get paid for it because it's my videos. I was in debt. And I still remember, man, like fucking, all right, let me just be real. I've never felt more alone in my life during that period of time. Like I literally never ever felt more alone, more cut off from our team. And that goes for everybody. People know, our fans know how we celebrated the projects that we did before that. How we celebrated Live's album. Everyone got together like it was like something that we were all fucking on board for. It felt like a ship that we all decided to jump on, put our main focus into this, drive passion. And I get it, times were different back then, but still, it felt like everyone wished the best for me, but didn't at the same time. And I still remember, like, it was like one of the most depressing releases. I was struggling mental health wise, trying to figure out who the fuck this character was. That has been with me all my life. So, you know, look, I started feeling the disparity, I guess you could say, from my peers around me. I guess it was just something that I never really could explain, but it felt like I was just doing it all by myself. And I still remember, like, I told a few of us, you know, I told a few of you guys, I was like, man, like, what I feel so alone doing this? Like, I wish I could have you guys more present. And they're like, you know, but we don't know how to help you. And it's like, I get it, but it wasn't like help or advice that I was seeking. It was just connection and company, really. That's really what I was looking for. But it's I guess it was such a foreign thing because, you know, we were just a group of guys that, you know, really didn't really express too much to each other. It was all kind of really said and done. Everyone had their own agendas, and I guess it was just something that I'd never really thought was a big thing until I guess became an artist. And I was like, oh fuck, I hope I'm not like stepping on 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃's toes. And that's just a thought that I never thought I would have. Like just that thought was something that I was like, fuck, what if he feels this way? What if after I've been really, really just giving him like all of this and then I stop, how would that make me feel? And I was like, fuck. I was like, is that why? And from then on, because again, like the feelings that I got from all these things, I was like, man, I can't really have something truly that I think I want without kind of mingling in a lot of people's minds. And I started going there. I started thinking about that. And it'll just be an automatic response. I hope you guys understand the relationship that me and Live have is such like where I will see him and I would imagine, like, for me it's, I need to protect this dude. I need to make sure this guy's good. I just need to make sure like this guy's like happy first and foremost. That's just more important to me. And this guy's all right. So maybe like I was like, oh fuck, am I tripping out? If I did this, I'm like, oh my god, if this guy feels some certain type of way, like because in my mind I just thought that was just another world that probably could have happened. Again, this is just my personal thoughts. I'm not saying that he was like that. I'm just saying this is just my thoughts and the way I kind of started developing my mind. And then, you know, like obviously then after I call, oh yeah, right away, like I found ways to shoot videos in a very minimal budget way, and thankfully for that, you know, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃 said he started profiting again, which I was so happy, over the moon for. That was the whole point of me doing the whole run and gun thing, shooting 2 videos, summer tights, yellow cab, and I had to re-edit another video, all at that expense and that cost. I did a lot of things that made things clutch. You know, if things were being thrown at us in a way where we weren't allowed to like come out with that because it was just so bad, I had to fucking do something about it. You know, did I get paid for it? No, fuck. Just thought, but fuck it, who cares? I just thought everyone was fucking living like that. You know, so like, yeah, man, fucking those details, like there's just so much more, but I don't want to keep fucking just staying in this moment. Sorry guys, I want to just move on. Tour happened, right? Before the tour, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 2. So this is where everything started fucking getting weird. You know, one day, like, I was like we were doing Head in the Clouds. I think first LA show ever. This is when I debuted. This is the first time I went to LA to do Head in the Clouds. And during that period, obviously, the conversation started happening because I became an artist. It's like, oh, well, you know, let's start. Me and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 were like, let's start talking about the rights to DPR and the shares. Because isn't it a good time to bring that up? Because, you know, my contract ended, and, you know, like, to see where really how much money this was being kind of, I guess, distributed towards. Because during that period of time, Live was having exemplary examples of certain different other artists that was making this much as opposed to how much we were making. And it was shady because come to think of it now and really seeing the artist contract that Live was signed to, no one had any idea. No one had any idea. We had no blueprint to go off of. So whatever we thought was fair, or whatever Scott thought was fair, we just kind of like, all right, yeah, I guess that's it. Like, because how do we know? We're fucking young, dumb, and stupid, and we're just naive. So everyone is accountable for that measure. It's not just Scott. It's like everyone, right? Like, I'm accountable for like not being as knowledgeable, but that's what life teaches you. It teaches you to learn, grow, and experience. You know, and sometimes you just have to ram through it. So fast forward, okay, that's when all these questions started arising. Bro, how much are you really making? Fuck, I don't know. But like my friend here in this company is like fucking making this much, you know? And his streams are like this, you know? So what's the catch? So then, you know, I still remember. So that was our first conversation we had with Scott. Yo, what's happening with this whole like split ratio thing with DPR? Like, what's really going on? What is really going on? I thought you said it didn't matter. I thought you said whose name's on the, I guess, shareholders list for DPR has the trademark. It don't really matter because that's how we would play it off. Time and time, I tell you guys, it's not like we've never had this conversation. We've had this conversation time and time, but it would always come to the conclusion of like, bro, that's not how our system works. That's not how the money's really distributed. That's not how like things just work around. We're a unique blueprint, which I agree to, right? I understand we are a unique blueprint. Now that being said, like, how do we, bro, like, that's when, you know, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 started getting mad shifty about it. Now that being said, like, how do we, bro, like, that's when, you know, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 started getting mad shifty about Scott. And, you know, I complied because I thought I was like, bro, if it's like all said and clean and if it doesn't really matter, like, why are you so like adamant on not wanting to show this or not wanting to do this and that? So it started building up from there, as you can imagine. It started really building up, and 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 just got more and more like, you know, fucking started catching on. And I was in the middle of making 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏 2, and again, for me, it's just like, fuck, I felt like I was just starting my artistry. I just felt like I was just starting my journey into this whole like, fuck, you know, I get to express myself. I get to like finally open up about my past traumas. Maybe this would be the healing journey and the necessary step that I need for myself. Fuck, maybe this is it. And henceforth, like, Mighty 2 happened, you know? So for me, you gotta understand, like, my perspective of this was like, yeah, fuck, I don't know if there's fuckery, because I refuse to believe someone that I cared for personally, could be at the helm of doing all of that. And for me, and number 2, you know, again, like, I just couldn't understand, like, what, like, you know, if that was to come to the light, don't you think that would fuck everything up anyway? So, like, why would anyone do that? So, you know, fast forward, like, I remember 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 coming in, during when I was making Mighty 2, and he was like, hey, like, fuck, you gotta stop this. You gotta stop this right now. You know, it's like, everything you've done, like, it's owned by this motherfucker. And what if this guy owns it completely? Like, what if he doesn't give it back? And I was like, like, I've never really thought of it like that. Like, I've never really thought about somebody else owning certain trademarks or something and running off with that. And I understand the importance of that for every artist, because you, as an artist, if you contribute and you dedicate your whole life's purpose into making something, you would need the rights to that. And obviously that, in these days, today's day and age, is masters. It's like, who has the rights to certain masters? You hear about it all the time. Big artists is buying their fucking, buying their masters from other people, buying their whole fucking list. And it's a huge thing. It's like, you want to be the owner of what you truly deserve, like what's rightfully yours. And I was like, man, this can't be a hard conversation to have with Scott. Like, if this is something we have just figured out, then it's probably time for us as the individuals that have just figured this out now to bring to light. And if it's something that we all were just not knowledgeable of, then there should just be no malice, you know, as opposed to like, hey, fuck you, you know, fuck you for this. But again, I was also a victim to this, so I just thought, okay, you know what, you're right. This guy is clearly very, very, very like upset and bothered. And if I'm being completely honest, seeing 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 upset bothers me more than the actual thing. And I know that's kind of weird, but I can't explain anything otherwise. Like, I can't lie to you. That's genuinely just how I felt. So I decided to at that period in time, to stop Mighty 2 for a bit. And then, you know, my mum calls, and this is when my mum starts getting involved with this whole thing, because my mum is very intuitional. I trust my mum. Everything my mum called for, she was never wrong about. She was always right. Like, a term that says mum's always right, like I do not shit you, that is something that I truly am scared of, because I truly believe it. My mum's intuition is none like other, and she told me to just keep going, because, you know, it's just something that I had to do for myself. I'm not used to that term, do it for yourself. I'm not familiar with that term. And because I'm not used to that term, do it for yourself, even that period of time, I struggled to do things for myself. I felt like if I did things for myself, it would be the epitome of somebody else's, at somebody else's expense, whether it be their mental health or whatever. It's fucking toxic, I know. But anyway, I just thought, okay, fine, let's just keep doing this, but let's still hear this guy out. And I moved to LA, you know, in that turbulent fucking turmoil of a time, while we were scheduled to do our first regime tour. And this was such a big deal, because, guys, this tour was the first tour that me, 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 and Cream and yeah, pretty much us three and 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃, we're going to be like together as a unit on tour, on stage. More important than me and 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 just being together as a unit on tour was something that I've always wanted, iconically, just something that I've always imagined to be good, and I know him too was somebody that would have saw that as that. But obviously, as time developed, you know, I think 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 got his, 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃 got a hold of his, I guess, up till now, how much he was making, and up to that, like, he got all of that, like, pretty much audited and kind of printed out, and, you know, you could see it. So I remember he came to me and he's like, oh, guess what, like, this is, bam, like, this is crazy. This is how much I was making. And mind you, like I don't nose into that. Like I don't put my nose into like, oh, how much are you making? And you know, I would imagine a lot of people are like that anyway. But I still remember seeing. I saw the amounts of money that he was making over the last like 7 years. I mean, sorry, not 8, 7 years, but as an artist, sorry, from when he started becoming an artist. So the period of 3-4 years, I believe, 4 years or 5. And I remember seeing the amount that he made. Mind you, he was being wrongfully misplaced as well. But you got to understand, like, in my mind, I thought there was like a certain number that everyone was making. And I just thought it never really passed that. So when I saw the amount that he was making, even him, like, even that was like something that he wasn't even meant to make. He was meant to make way more. That like shocked me to the core. So remember, I'm like, bro, if you're making this much, and this was like a big problem for you up to this point, how fucked was I getting? Now, how hard was I getting fucked? So, like, holy fuck, you were making, like, you gotta understand, like, I just didn't, like, I couldn't comprehend that. Whoa, we're like, yo, like, it made me really reflect. Like, it made me really reflect on how much I was really making for any of this, like, really. And then I started tripping out, like, fuck, you know, like, yo, like, I've never really seen that amount of money being made before on one term, not even like just one term. I'm not going to disclose the amount of money that we've made. Just know I had to fucking, like, I had to think. There was a period of time where I told John, like, and this was during iCool, I was like, maybe I have to start working at the convenience store, like as a side gig. Like, legit, I was like, I'm looking into doing a side gig at a cafe, or fucking hell. Oh fuck. But like, anyway, point being, like, that'll probably give you a good idea of what I was fucking struggling to make amends with. And you know, like, just seeing that, I guess, kind of really started opening these doors to my mind where I just thought would never lead me to. My salvation, bringing back the idea of DPR being my salvation, slowly started taking hits. And you got to understand, like, my idea and identity built on this whole idea of believing in a team and believing in the people that I love. Even showing all of the people necessary to my disabilities was a big thing for me. I had a hard time opening up about it. Scott was one of the few, if not the first person that I've ever opened my switches to. Which is probably why I'm a little bit more angry and a little bit more upset that things happened the way they did. Because I trusted him with all of that. Complaining are going to do me in. Like, I can't survive another sea clown. I can't. Like, I just fucking can't. Like, I refuse to believe that this is going to be the demise of me. Like, it's going to be the downfall of me. And I was tripping out because, like, everyone else was tripping out, and, like, once these things started coming to fruition, and we're like, oh my God, bro, did you know that this was being mishandled? Like, here's the thing, right? When we earn this amount of money, it gets distributed to the investor side, about 30%, and we take about 70% to DPR. 70% of which the funds are now coming in from, like, whether it be shows, whether it be like fucking the royalties and masters and all of that is coming in, but it was being distributed by one individual. Yes, you guessed it. But what was it being distributed based on? Just based on how he feels like he deserves it should be distributed. So pretty much playing like fucking like God, like playing just what he thinks it deserves, how much he thinks somebody deserves in this period of time. In comes like the secretary that I told you I brought in. This guy I've vouched for ever since I came to Korea, right? I will not name him, but he was my first friend, one of my first friends when I first came to Korea. So when I was 21, he was one of my first mates. I gave him a job when he came back from the army. He didn't know how to do any of it, but I trusted him because obviously I thought I had him figured out. But it turns out this guy that was handling the receipts and talking on the phone for all these people that on the finance side, or so secretary is kind of the right term. So under the tables, he made more in a year than I had in the last 5. So 5 years of what I made in DPR would be less than the 1 year of how much he made in a year. Sorry. So when I ask why, right? When I fucking ask why, it's like you just needed somebody on your side. Just needed somebody on your fucking side. Those instances where I had to borrow money. I remember as I was editing Mitre 2, fucking manicked out. 6 days out of the 7, just couldn't sleep. I knew this had to be done because if I couldn't finish it, I didn't want to leave my fans, and certainly number one, I didn't want to give the impression to our fans that something was fucking bubbling to this point. So I just kept pushing on, closed my eyes, just kept pushing on. And then, Scott would be calling me in the background and he'd be like, what fuck? Just all of a sudden he's like, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 leaving. I'm like, what the fuck? That wasn't what we talked about last conversation. He's like, no, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's leaving. In my mind, when I heard that, I'm like, nah, there's no way he said that and he believes it. Because again, at that period of time, there was no real thing. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew the juice of it, and I was like, yeah, let's get to the bottom of it. But we had tour coming up, and I was in the fucking process of making Mitre 2, and I already shot the video and already done all of that, and it was like, okay, I'm sure this guy's bluffing. I'm sure 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 must be bluffing to Scott, because at that period of time, obviously their relationship wasn't fucking flowers and daffodils. He must be lying to him. Otherwise, he would tell me. He would tell me that he was leaving first. So that's when because obviously I think he told Jeff first. He told Jeff first, and I think that's when Jeff got first. What the fuck is going on? And the reason why I want to give you context about this guy is because of moments like this. If he was anywhere near in on these things, it would have already fucking came to light. My mum had found the best lawyers. We already fucking went through this time. But that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is, Mitre 2, Live said he was leaving. I had to finish fucking editing. Scott was on his fucking on the ground melting, having a panic attack. I was trying to deal with all of this, and I somehow finished editing Mitre 2 just 3 hours before the release, and I fucking uploaded it and fucking sent it out to the world. At that period of time, Mitre 2 didn't matter. None of it mattered. I didn't care about it because nobody else really fucking cared about it. Oh yeah, when it came out, I didn't even know it came out, because why? The minute it came out, I had to take a plane to Charlotte, and my first mind was like, man, I hope 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏's not serious about leaving, because I want to talk to him before he really makes up that decision. I want to really engage in this conversation before any of this fucking goes down, because at least that's kind of what I think we should do. So Monitor comes out. Nobody gives a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And we just go and fly to Charlotte. And I still remember the first thing I went to, because Charlotte is where we were prepping for a month before we went out into the world with our tour. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, there's no fucking way this is happening. Like, there's no way that this is happening, and we are not doing, like... So we went, and I was like, 𝗏𝗏, like, you gotta be straight with me, man. Like, are you really leaving? I was like, no, at all. Are you leaving? Like, because I gotta know. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, bro, if you made this already, like, why don't you fucking just tell me? Like, and I understand why. Like, this is the thing. I said this unconditional line sometimes where 𝗏𝗏 has his best interest in me. I'm not saying he doesn't. He has his best interest in me. But sometimes because of that unconditional line, that it's a bit hard for me him or me to cross. You know, some things I think he wants to just handle it on his own. But you know what, like, the reason why I'm saying all of this is because I never really find the appropriate time to ever talk about how I feel about any of it. Like, really, ever. It fucks me up because it's just like, man, if I see this dude suffering, I'm like, oh, bro, I can't. There's no time for me to suffer. Like, this dude's fucking at it. And I still remember, I'm like, man, what would it take for you to... And by all means, like, I was so over the moon that he had finally found his edge. Like, he had finally found the confidence to want to do something of his own. That was his dream. Like, he wanted to do something of his own. It just, I didn't know it would come at that time. I just thought, man, like, we were doing this together. Like, I thought this was like our thing. Like, I thought this was like the whole point of it. Like, if Scott's out of the picture, don't we get the keys to our kingdom? Like, can't we just work this out with Jeff then, right? Like, is it that much of a hard problem? I don't understand what's getting in the way other than Scott. So, you know, my thing was like don't go away. Like, just stay here. Because my mind is starting to split. And, you know, like, I just need somebody. Like, I just need the fucking people. And, you know, like, when I heard, like, okay, this guy was already kind of, like, dead set on wanting to leave. And trust me, like, if you're going through your first fucking trauma and you're going through, like, the first, like, your road trip to becoming, like, a fucking villain, your villain arc story, as they say, there's nothing that's going to get in your way. There's just nothing. And when I saw that, I'm like, immediately I thought my 𝗟𝗏 days, like, oh my God, like, this guy would have done it. 𝗏𝗏, out of all people, is a responsible dude, but when you get that obsessively into his mind as you did Scott, when you fucked him up with the whole, like, paranoia with the money thing, you fucking did it. You've really done my boy in. And honestly, like, that's just one of the things that I'll probably never forgive myself for as well. It's just having the lack of knowledge to be able to see that nuance and identify it, and fucking really letting that get to this guy's head and cracking him in the shell. So it's like all his fears, and mind you, it's because he had a hard upbringing. This guy had a really hard upbringing. He had his family, he had his mom, his dad had cancer. Like, he went through the fucking trenches just to be able to be where he is. And trust me, God gave it his all. And you fuck with that, yeah, that would do it to you. So I don't blame him for being the way he is. But at the same time, like, I knew there was no way of getting to him through that anger and through that cloud. I didn't know, the only thing I didn't know was how much my world was breaking into fucking pieces. I just didn't know. I just didn't know how much my world was breaking into pieces after that. I tried convincing 𝗏𝗏 to stay. I was like, listen, man, like, you could do your own thing, but let's just stick together first, and then let's, like, figure out a way to do your own thing. But I knew, man, like, and trust me, I relate to this, and I understand. If you're there and you're fucking filled with it, and this guy has sent you to the existential end of the world, you are going to try to disassociate with that with any means possible. Trust me. Take it from me. So I knew I wanted to be there for him, but at the same time, when I looked down, I was falling apart. DPR was meant to be my salvation. The people that I thought I was going to be here just are now kind of a figment of what I thought was real. And, you know, like, I was just getting in my own fucking head, and, you know, it was doing me in, trying to hold together. Mind you, we were doing tour. So we're doing 46 cities like this. In this current state, in this intensifying fucking frequency, that is how we started tour. And I still feel so bad for the boys, you know. I'm like, man, what would it take for you to come back, man? Or you'd be like, like, if you, as long as you got the rights and you got the keys and it's all done and set in paper, I'll come back to DPR. I'm like, all right, bro, but let's, like, all right, then let's do that. Like, let's figure out a way together to get that. But like, what would that entail? Like, and mind you, at that period of time, it wasn't Jeff. Like, there was no fuckery appointed to this guy. So it was just Scott that was doing that. Obviously, he mingled with all that shit and he fucked everything up with that. But that was the catalyst of why everything tumbled for me personally and for live. And everyone on the team started getting fucking crazy. It wasn't just me and live that was struggling. Chunyong, I remember Chunyong like this guy, like this guy goes out of the way for everyone while doing it on the you know, the minimal amount of money that he makes, you know. And I still remember, like, when he finally made the money to buy his friends like a meal. I think that was the first time I saw him like tear up. And, you know, stuff like that just fucking breaks my heart. But it also, like, hits a side of me where it just fuels this fucking fury. And it was like a side of me which I never decided and I never wanted to bring back up again. But it was creeping up on me ever since he started locking up. But the doors and the keys and the chains were starting to fucking unlock and break. And no longer could I put anyone in front of that door to mark opening. Ever. So, and so the tour happened. I don't know how. I remember spending my birthday there during rehearsals. You know, it's fucking the most depressing birthday I've ever spent in my life. It's just, we were all segregated. We were just all parted away into our own thoughts, and you know, and my immediate thought was just like, man, how the fuck do I make this guy's, like, how do I make it work? How do I make it, like, how do I ease his fire a little bit? Like, what is something that I can do to help that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do I do this? Like, I've never been in this conundrum before. And then, you know, we started doing these shows, and you know, the deal was, like, Scott wouldn't travel with us. Like, he wasn't allowed to. That was the deal. Like, bro, like, we'll do this, but like, can't. Don't let him anywhere near the boys. And then we'll travel like that. But fucking hell, you know, like, even the way that the tour money was split, like, that was all on Scott's decision as well. Like, you guys got to understand the imprint and the blueprint that was set up in business. How much somebody was getting, how much somebody was getting out of that was all fucking done by Scott. Like, it wasn't like none of us had fucking to say in this. Did we suspect any fuckery was going on? No, because why the fuck would someone do that? Like, if anything was to come to light, don't you think, like, this would be like, especially to me, man, don't you think I'll fucking, sorry. The reason why I just got to prevent myself going up from these is because I'm on, like, I'm on a bit of I gotta be really careful of me tripping out. But anyway, tour happened, and you could imagine, it's every fucking thing, every worst nightmare. We put so much money into the production, which we did not design. Scott had his ways of setting up the tour. So even from the element of bringing that tour to life, like that was all in Scott's budget. Like I don't know how much he spent like a fucking shit ton of money in that, but that was all production. Like that was all of that. And my only thought was like, damn, I finally get to see the fans. I finally get to perform in front of our crowd. And you know, like that was the last of my thoughts. Like that, you gotta understand that was meant to be what I was excited for, like bringing 𝗏 to life, being able to see the fans that I finally reached was like something that was so important to me. But the fact that the matter of the fact was like it just like that was like I couldn't even process that. And then we did one show, we did one after the other. We started in the States. And with each show, I remember, man, like I was like after I did my thing, it wouldn't even feel like I'm the artist. I'll be like, fuck, I'll go to 𝗏𝗏𝗃, I'll tend to him because I'm worried. That was the first thought I had. As soon as I finished my show, I think, fuck, like, is this guy okay? Is this guy all right? And you saw, I mean, I'm sure you've seen his documentaries and stuff, but like. He's like those moments where you see in the green rooms where he's having a hype. That's all real. Like that was like pretty much most of the fucking shows we did. So there was no time for me to process how I felt about any of this. But I knew. But you guys got to understand. I knew there was like a big part of me that I wasn't addressing, and that was like, yo, I thought this was meant to be your salvation, man. I thought this was meant to save you, not kill you. And that one thought was a thought that drove me into oblivion. It was like after the 10th show, I think, I started cracking. I started cracking because why? There was no support. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 was smart enough. He found 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀. Like he found that guy to go with him on tour. I'm not used to that. Like I don't know what managers are. I've never had it. So there was no real support system for our artist structure. And this is one thing I realized during that period. I was like, damn. So this is what we need. We need more support for our artists. It was such a unusual, but here's the reason. Being an artist myself, I think that's what I can kind of now understand is what is needed. I kind of always thought maybe I was the support for live, but now not being able to differentiate that and really kind of split that off. I never really took it in a way where, do I need that? And I was like, fuck, I do. Like I really do. Because we didn't even spend any money for hair and makeup, you know, and to some artists that's cool because for me that was like the whole stick. It was the whole like conceptual makeup. So fucking hell, I would be doing my makeup for the first 2 continents. Like I don't know. I'll watch YouTube. I'll learn, and those were the moments where I'd start crying, just in the mirror, just because live went up first and I went up second. I still remember when live went up, because everyone was really worried about live. Everyone would go with him, and I'll just be by myself in the green room, and this would be at every show. And I just remember, like, man, these are quiet times. These are maybe the moments that I needed the most. But was I dying inside? Yes. Was I fucking about to throw up and get destroyed because of how my mental state was taking a spasm? Yes. I think I went into the 10th show and then the 12th and the 15th, and then I had like a breakdown, and people didn't understand why, because I had to fucking hold it together. I really had to hold my fucking stick together, because otherwise, like really, like what the fuck were we doing? Like I just really had to hold it together. There was no other way. Cream was having a panic attack. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 was tripping out. Like that was the first time I've seen these guys like that. Tour does that to people, I understand, but the way we went on tour with that frequency, yeah, it was wrong. The plan was like, yo, let's just fucking, you know, let's just do this, let's just get our pay and let's just do it. That was the whole plan. and let's just figure it out afterwards, right? But during the process of it, and again, I'm not holding anyone accountable for what had happened to me. It was a choice of my own. It was because I decided that I wanted to care for these people, and it is because I decided I wanted to go out of my way to do it for these people. We did not have a strong enough system to support me as an artist, and that's something that I don't think anyone would have realized at that point. But it was too late by then. It was fucking too late. I still remember, like, it started getting worse. This fucking bubble and this fury and this spite that I had buried a long time ago, I couldn't do it. It just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And then occasionally it would just blow up here and blow up there. And, you know, John would be there to, like, simmer me down. And you know, for whatever reason, John would be the one to get the backhand of that. So, fast forward, I got to a point where in Brazil, my manic state could no longer handle it. My meds weren't the exact medicines that was working. And during that whole period of time, I thought, fuck, if I don't do another show, I'm going to die. I really am. I'm just going to end it. Because for me now, life has become completely meaningless. It's just, like, I needed somewhere to hold on to. I needed people to hold on to. I just needed to believe in something and believe in myself again. And I thought that healing was doing its part for 8 years, 9, to say the least. For almost a decade, I thought I was healing, and the very thing that I thought I was healing from turned around and stabbed me right in the heart. And I take full accountability, you know. And with that guilt came depression, and I just thought, fuck, this is it. One of these cities is going to be the tripwire. It's just a matter of time. And Brazil was where I made my first attempt at killing myself. And by the grace of God, John walked in, I think just in time, and I was sent to the ER. You guys gotta understand the reason why John goes at people on Twitter, on X, sorry, the way he does when somebody says something from me, is because he was the only person that was there to see what I was going through. The only dude that fucking went traumatic, got the traumatic end of it, and still stuck through. None of the other boys, none of the other fellas were there to see that. And again, that's not to say it's on you. It's not to say that everyone was a victim. Everyone was going through it. How can I see somebody that's fucking going through it, and how can I show them that I'm bleeding? But at the same time, my mind, you got to understand, this is why context is important. This is where I was coming from. I thought this is the end, and it just happened. I was like, fuck, can't take it anymore. I was like, fuck, here you go. Is this what you wanted? And then, yeah, Brazil would be the first attempt. And I'll come close to it. Still wouldn't give a shit. And, because honestly, like, there's nothing more to lose in life, really. And I thought about my mum, even called a few of my parents, some of my friends. But when you're that fucking gone, you just, and you black out. I can't control my fucking manic state. I can't control my other states. I just can't fucking do it. And I know this is why it gets so fucking tricky with the whole DRD thing. But guess what? Fucking went to the hospital, stitched me up really good. Lost a lot of blood, but you know, was a bit sick, couldn't walk properly. They told me that I needed to recover, but we had our show the next day. And nobody knew about this except Jeff, Rami at the time, thank God she was there, and John, and our security guard, our bodyguard. I told everyone, nobody has to know, nobody needs to know this. Because everyone's fucked up in their own minds, like what the fuck would this do? So, I mean, I'm sure our fans noticed it back then. It's not like it was it's not like I could hide it. But I did. And I'm sure at a certain point in time, my team started seeing that. It started seeing more than one, and over the next period of time, it would develop into like a series of how do I distract myself, how do I find ways to live another day, how do I fucking just go through this, and the switches, oh my fucking god, the switches was so bad. I needed to be on such hard medication to just be able to turn one off, and when another switch happens, it splits off into like fucking two more, man. I just black out my blackout intervals would go from about a day, years ago, it would go from a day to now, like a couple of days. I black out on stage, go to like a week, and eventually, by our 45th show on Sydney, our 45th show, that would be the day that I knew I couldn't do the 46th. So our 45th show was our last show in Sydney. Our 46th show was our show that was meant to come in 2 months in Korea. I don't know, I woke up and I'm like, I'm in Sydney. How the fuck did I do 45 shows? And I opened my eyes and like, well, we've got to do one more. And I still remember, I told everybody at that time, I was like, I can't do this. Like, so rarely do you see me say, go back on a plan or go back on something that we were meant to do. So rare. But I knew if I did this show, like I knew at the state that I was at, if I went through this show, I would, like I don't know when I'd come back. And if I didn't come back, it would, like, I've never been more terrified in my life, yeah. Never in my life have I been more terrified about opening my eyes and not realizing what I had done, or who I was with, or where I was at, or what had just happened. And here's the thing, when you get to that state and you look around and you see the people's faces, and the reason why the reason why people couldn't really take it was because, the first thing they said to me was like, you're going to put these people in debt. Like that was the answer back. And I know, listen, they had no idea the exact state that I was going through. It was a request, but at the same time, like if I had just not done that show, obviously it would have put all these people in debt. Like not just the promoting side, just a lot of the workers. So you know what, just hearing that, what do you think I'd say? I'm like, yeah, fuck it, man. Like you did it up to this point. You did it up to here. Why not? Just fucking, who cares? It's not about you anyway. Just fucking go for it. And I did it. And I went on stage and I blacked out. I blacked out for what? How much was it? A month. Exactly a month. And the saddest part is I woke up in Korea. I woke up in the hospital. Getting fucking stitched up again. And then I was like, man, what happened? What the fuck happened? I was doing a show in Sydney. And then, You understand? Our support system, like Rami at the time was on deck. She's filming all of this. And the reason why we record all of this is not just for me, but for us to understand what is happening with me. It's like a log where I can't. There's only a certain amount of time when you get to a point where you ask somebody and they won't tell you. So you get all these trust issues from people not really telling you exactly what you did and what happened. And a month is a fucking long time for you to black out. So I was like, please, with all due respect, I deserve to know what had happened or what the fuck's going on. And then we went down our list. And, you know, like in Sydney, after that happened, that's when my high school mate, my best mate from school, Ronald, appeared. And he just came for the show. Like, bro, the dude just came for, like, to support me, as he always does. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. The special DPR, he just saw me switching and he was like, this guy needs help. This guy's in trouble. I've known this guy since high school, and you know, he's been the same ever since. So I was desperate. I was so desperate. You don't even fucking understand. I was desperate. I just needed anyone by my side. But I didn't have the audacity to even begin to ask Tarbin or even, you know what, Cream stayed around for a bit. Cream was like, you know what, like he tried, but it's not on anybody. Like anybody in our situation at that time was going for it. They're fucking ruffled up. But I was like, you know, fuck, I'm gonna send it. So in Sydney, apparently, looking up all the shit that was shot, and I made a few more attempts. Ronald saved me. My other friends saved me. You know, while all of this was happening, Jeff was keeping monitor of all of this. So he was sending all these people to help me out. He was orchestrating a lot of these things to pull me out of these moments. No one else was there. No one else was fucking there to see what was fucking going on and being rattled. You know, nothing. Even I wasn't there, So, you know, just fast forward, Korea, woke up. Oh, what's going on now? Oh no, you know, this happened in the hospital, this happened here. Like my first, and you were like, man, in your psychosis, you were like, yeah, you said you needed a team. That's the first thing you kept calling out. You need a team. So I was like, man, maybe I do care. Maybe I do want to survive. And we had another show to do. We had to reinvent the whole fucking thing. And apparently you're like, yeah, you're halfway doing it. You're halfway done it. I'm like, so in my psychosis, in my manic state, I designed half of the show already, and all we had to do was end it. But I know everyone was think about it, man, 45 shows at that state, fucking do your head in. But I was like, man, what would it mean if we didn't do this? And we're just proving that to the world that we could do this. We can't do this without squat. Like, are you just proving that, guys? Because everyone wanted to pull the plug because they saw the state I was in, and I'm like, what? Now you guys want to pull the plug? Like now you guys want to fucking? So now we were talking about it, and it just something switched in me, something clicked, and I was so pissed off, and I was like, you know what? All right, I get it. But we have to do this show for my sake. Because for me, my deal was, if this show doesn't prove to me that what we do is worth anything here, like at least what I think personally, what we did, like doesn't come to any part of what we believed in, I'm just gonna fucking, this is gonna be it. Like I'm just fucking doing my head in, this is it. Like give me the affordability of actually just doing this with you guys, showing it to you guys, showing us that we don't need somebody like that, and we can orchestrate it simply by us. Let's show them that we can do that. You know, I went full fucking tyrannical on these guys, and that was the first time I ever did that. Forced everybody to just do this show, you know, because if it didn't, it meant I was gonna die. But I didn't want to fucking put that on anybody. But I just needed, you know, Like, I was just desperate, guys. Like, you guys, I don't even know how to fucking say it. I just needed something. I needed someone. And I needed something that was real. Yeah, just something that was real. You know, our fans would obviously be devastated. But trust me when I say, you know, you guys were, for me anyway, the reason why I try to hold it together with every single show I did. I didn't want to give you the impression that this was like, I'm crumbling or this was crumbling. I wanted to give you the impression of somebody that was like meeting you guys for the first time, hearing your stories, and fuck, those are the moments that brought me back. Those little walks I had back to the cars, and hearing your stories about how this saved your life, or this saved, I was like, man, this has to mean something. Like, yeah, this is something. But, you know, internally, like, all of this was fucking going on. What I did, what he did, what they did with this and that. I'm like, fucking hell. Just fucking hate stuff like that. So I think a lot of people are missing the point. So when all of that finished, and thankfully, it was a show that, you know, would save my life. No. And you gotta understand, like, it was not even the show, it was not because of the outcome of the show or whatever. It was when I went back and, you know, I wasn't gonna go to the after party, I was just gonna end it there. You know what, this is it. I finished it. I did my job. I'm not good anymore. I'm going. And for some reason I felt like I had to go to the after party, and that's when I saw everybody celebrating and everybody like crying and you know, feeling like they've overcome something so big that it was so inspiring, and I was so in awe when I was seeing this, and I was like, wow, so this is what it was. Like, this was the energy. Like, this is why it was so important for us to do this. Like, oh, like, this is why it was so important. It was so necessary, sorry. And that's what I took from it. And then I met, and from the darkest era of my life, where I thought there was no coming back, where my idea and image of people were just so vaguely just distorted, I started meeting these people that I had in my life back in my time. You know, some of which you might know, you know, like Ryu, Jono, Josh. Like, first it was Ryu and his wife Sarah. And you know, like, that's when I truly believed there was a God, because how could there not be? Like, if we're suffering like this, if I'm suffering and I'm not even allowed to acknowledge my suffering, like, what good is it? Like, what is the good that really comes from it? The good that comes from my heart? What does it all fucking mean at the end of the day? And you know, like, these guys that I met during that journey just helped pull me together. I don't know what it was. It wasn't even anything that they said. It was just something that they just brought with them. And just like that, I just went back to LA. Before I went back to LA, I remember putting some of the boys into the room. I'm sure you guys remember what I said. I said, give me something real. Otherwise, you can't leave the door. I was just, give me fucking anything, bro. Give me anything. Anything. Just give me anything. And the fact of the matter was, no one could give me anything. Financially, emotionally, just nothing. Yeah. And that's when I knew. I was just, fuck, I don't know what to do when I go back. And this is when the talks of the masters started coming up, 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗏 masters. I hate that we have to boil it down to the value of what 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 masters were. But the way we built his archive, I guess you would say, Cream's involvement, my involvement, even Scott's, it wasn't very much like any other team's, I guess you could say, involvement in creating an artist. A lot of the fundamental, a lot of the DNA of DPR does come from the concepts that we've derived and I managed to put on from mind to paper. We have such a role to play in our elements that, you know, it's kind of like a shared property, if you were to say, amongst everyone. We missed a lot of the payments. I'm just speaking specifically, I'll speak for myself. I missed a lot of the payments. I never really got a cut of anything. So I'm just going to speak financially from now, like from this point. The only thing that we could equate value to, that I could equate value to, of what I was ever doing was in DPR Live, as much as I hate to say it. Not just me, Cream, Chunyong, but like when we heard that, you know, you were gonna go up, you got up and left for the best reasons for yourself, obviously, and you know, we support that. Like, it's not something, again, it's not something that, it's not like a difficult thing for us to grasp why you needed that for yourself. But like, just what we had done and what Scott disallocated that with was like hearing that he had still full masters, like he was signed over the shares, was like, was just insane. Like, I wasn't even in the conversation when this happened. And you see what it does to me. Like, you see where this fucking, it's not about me having anything now. This is the point that everyone's missing. I couldn't give a shit less. I really couldn't care less about his masters now. I really don't give a fuck. Just make sure we give it out to the people that deserve it here. And I'll say it on this live, but I don't even need to get a cut out of that. Let's just make sure we distribute it to at least Cream or even Chunyong. At least the people that did something. So then we know whatever we did at least in the past, and whatever we decide to do in the future going forward, at least they have a part of something that they thought was real and it's just not completely destructed. Just that much, right? Yeah, just that much. When I heard what you did with the masters, Scott, and who you gave it to, fuck, it does my head in, bro. Number one, the fact that you had it, sorry. And number two, the fact that you gave that to somebody that I just fucking cannot believe that you gave it to. And he sold it. But again, I was in none of these conversations. I'm telling you myself. None of it. And I get it. When people are jaded and fumed, I get it. But fucking hell. Just give me anything then, bro. But we can't. Because, you know, we can't. Because the money's all been used. We can't. Financially, I can't retire my mum yet. Which I can't. I just fucking can't. So you're telling me, like, I have to now start making money as an artist now? What if I didn't become an artist? So the mere thought of me not becoming an artist is now what played heavy. Holy fuck. We've all been fucked. Like, so the only way I've ever earned money was when I became an artist, to exploit myself while investing into myself, while investing to others, while creating a whole DNA brand of this, while doing this, while doing that, while doing this. But fuck your 10 years of doing what you did in the past. Fuck your salvation. You're not going to get paid for it. Just start all over again, bro. Start all over again with a new team. Just start all over again. Don't worry, we'll get you your trademark back. We'll get it. The fuck does that even mean without you guys? What does any of that mean? What does any of this mean? You don't even understand. The idea, the image of what I had for us has been destroyed. The people that were in that image and the vision and the picture of who I believed in and celebrated is no longer here. And you can't say it's because of this and because of that. Because when I had said, we need this, I need this, and we need this, and everyone had their own agendas, and everyone had their own choices, don't ever for once think, ladies and gentlemen, that anyone was gaslighting anybody. Respectfully to all parties too, nobody is gaslighting anybody, especially here. No one's in my ears, no one's influencing me to do any of this. If anything, I look at our boys and I can't drop it. It's like I'm getting hit by like fire. I'm getting hit by like arrows. And people are all on these other side of the fences and they're saying, hey, fucking don't shoot arrows at this guy. Hey, make sure you're not, like everyone's just talking on my behalf and not even fucking even asking me like how I feel about this thing. Yeah, but it's for you, man. It's for you. It's for you. Like all my fucking life I've been hearing it. It's like for you, bro. It's for you. And every single time I hear that, like it's just like no one is here. So I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to hear it's for you. It's for you. Don't worry, man. I'm getting this right. Don't fucking say it. I'm not doubting anybody's intention and I'm not doubting anybody's will for things, but you have it all twisted. And nobody even bothers to listen anymore. You don't think we've tried? You don't think I've tried? You really don't think I've tried? So fast forward. Okay, now we're here. It's going slowly to what I'm talking about, the prison. Alright, man, fuck. So tell me then, like, during the last 3 years then, like, what had happened? When the tour ended, and when I went back to LA, I thought we were going to start all over again. I thought that was the whole plan. The contingency plan was, you can still do your own thing, you know, but like, let's, you know, you haven't exactly left this brand. That was the very last things we told you, like, you know, like, hey, like, take as much time as you need. And again, I'm always that person, I'm always that brother that will be here to fucking welcome you when I do. But, you know, I told you at a certain point in time that there must be a direction that you choose, not because I want you to choose sides, but because it's going to be hard on you. And I know you remember me telling you this. Me doing this from ground up just does not make sense. Just does not make any sense. Like I'm 35 now. I don't have it in me to start from my own capital, start from ground zero. So what you ask of me, to walk away from the person that has facilitated everything, the person that has done all of this and this and this, and I told you, and this was right around roughly the time that I think you came over to tell me, and this is when I was, because bro, somebody has to take care of Kareem and 𝗟𝗏𝗃 and, you know, their artistry, Chunyong, somebody has to do that. Like, having to go off of certain words, allegations, accusations, without any fallout backup plan, were those accusations, allegations were to be wrong, for example, without any given ground evidence, can really mean the death of a lot of people. Like, you don't even fucking understand. If we don't have a contingency plan, if we don't have a backup plan, realistically, the boys and everyone are just gonna be, there's gonna be no place to belong. Like, everything is gonna fall apart. A structure, a system, like whether we hate it or not. So until, this is the one thing I told you was, and you know, this was the period of time when I was making stuff for Do or Die, and I was helping 𝗟𝗏𝗏 with his music video, I was shooting it, I was doing his songs for that. And you had come over and, we had talked about this. And I remember the last conversation we have had with him was, bro, let's just give me hard ground evidence. Otherwise I can't just fall on words. And you can't, and I hope no one can blame me for that because of just all the shit that I went through. And it was just, I needed something to be real, much more real, other than just like something that is just like, this was meant to be like this was meant to be like that. And for whatever reason, I was like, okay, like I'm still open to all of this, man. Like I'm still open to it. As a brother, I love this guy. Like this is just something that, again, was something I needed to make sure I had grounded. Had this give in, I would not be here. Like that is why it's so important, and this is why I'm telling you. Like I do not want to fuck around anymore with my life, me personally. Not telling everyone is doing that, but for me, like there's got to be a point in time where I just got to hold myself and just stop and just follow my intuition. So for me, I just thought, you know what, like until something until something becomes more solidifying, I can't move, I can't budge. So you know why it's such an awkward situation when the dude that I'm trusting, the dude I have to trust, and the reason why I say this is because I went through with my mum, all my attorneys, all my lawyers, and I went through a lot of the documents that, you were filing and I was meant to file, and all of these things that could have been and would have been marks of, like scum, like just fucking auditing. That's what that's what Ronald was there for. That's what I guess your mate Matthew was there for. Ronald was my finance guy. He was in banking business for more than 8 years or something. So if anything, it wasn't like I didn't have these people that didn't know what they were doing. I had the people that were biasedly on my team that were meant to work against these type of people. So while that was happening, I'm sure like a lot of these other third parties were like drafting a scenario of their own, trying to find the means of getting this. And all the spectrum, I'm just looking at this one dude, I'm like, would this one dude, Jeff, right? This guy that got like all these things and gifts and, went through the hardships with us when we were at the financial loss, stuck by everything contractually, like on paper anyway. And on paper, I don't know what we were talking about, on paper, where it matters anyway. Our relationship with him is transactional. When you're saying, when people are saying like, oh, but he's using you, yeah, but I'm using him. It's a transactional code. And as long as it's transparent, it's good. But for the most part, for me, because being with this guy has to be transparent with me. He has to be. Like, he can't risk that. Like, you got to understand, like, it's not just, we don't have like these things that like no one's like at risk. Everyone is has something to lose for. Everyone, especially that dude, especially that dude. So a lot of the things that I'm hearing, a lot of things that I'm reading with a lot of these files and these lawsuits, just doesn't, I don't know, brother, like it just doesn't click with me, because I'm like, why would this guy do it at our most demising time when everything is coming to the light? Why would somebody that was with us for those many years all of a sudden decide to be like, oh fuck, after hearing all of this, after getting a lot of these speculations, I'm gonna fucking do you double. I'm gonna double down and I'm gonna just take this from you. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. It just, I don't know, just spare me for me, it's just the talk. I just need some more hard evidence. I know, and it's a bit of an awkward position, guys. The reason why I needed to address this is, do you see how I have to work alongside this business so I can make it fruition to be able to support the team that I have now? Otherwise, it's a very awkward scenario where we're now giving speculation without context to fans, and fans are thinking, man, this guy's being manipulated. Like, holy shit, this Jeff guy, fucking this guy up. And by all means, if those come to fruition and those are facts and those are something that we can prove later on, and that is like, bro, I'll admit it. I'm fucked. I'm gone now. I have to go to the psych. I'm done. I'm done for. But imagine, just imagine in a world where like we don't have none of that. I don't have no comms. I don't have no information. My mom's working right next to this dude. We have the lawyers on our side working not with, but against this guy as well, and vice versa. There's just nothing, and we haven't done up anything for the last 3 years. For the last 3 or 2 years. For me, it's important because when I look at 𝗟𝗏, when I look at 𝗟𝗏𝗃, when I look at Cream and 𝗟𝗃, and when I look at myself, it just, over the last 2-3 years, just like you have been putting out albums of your own, they needed something that of their own. If I was to start that all from ground up and try to bring it up from nothing again, like I just don't have it in me. I can't base it. It's just too big of a thing for me to base my life on now. Like, I rather have this somehow figure out, and I just never understood, and maybe this is why I didn't understand why there was so much, why it was so hard for people to get the trademark here, to get, like, I just never understood this because I said the dude's representing me. And then I'm like, then people were like, no, but don't trust this dude. But I'm like, but you trust that guy. Like you have your own man. You have your own dude. And I don't know that dude. And if anything, like why would I trust this dude? Like I'll trust your word. So then remember, like that's something we said. Like as long as it comes from our mouths, we're not gonna trust anyone. And I kept that. I kept that fucking key and I fucking went with it. And I said in our last conversations, I'm like, listen, this is why I want to distribute it. This is the only reason why I want to distribute it. And I'm sure you remember, I was like, listen, this is like, I don't need to take a big branch from this. I was like, man, I'm even willing to break it off with Scott because I believe still credit is deserved where credit is due. What the fuck that means. But for me, that's the only reason. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the trademarks and all of that. Like, if that's what it takes for you to, you know, also be at peace, I'm like, at least give something for everybody so, you know, we can start continuing on with our lives. And I said, it's just, that was it. Like, I don't need to get anything from that. That was the only reason why I wanted it. I didn't want it for any other reason otherwise. Like, it just, because the whole trademark thing, the whole DPR thing, being able to use DPR doesn't mean shit without you guys. Like, it doesn't mean shit without the team that I thought we once were. And mind you guys, like, even our OG fans that were there from day one, you don't even know the deep and dirty of all of this. And this is why I think you guys deserve to know where this comes to play. How much some people did for this and this and this, and how much it means like something for somebody. Fuck, when people have a go at me, when all these fans are having a go at me for like losing you, for like being the one to having these malice judgments, for being the one to have lost you, to have gaslighted you into leaving, when I'm the only one that's fucking protecting this brand and just in the hopes of keeping it alive, I'm like, it's an awkward conversation every single time me and the team are here, and we're just looking at each other like, someone's like, hey, can we have a DPR Live feature? And I look at this guy, I'm like, no, DPR Live hasn't left yet. Like, but I don't know what's happening because I don't know how, like, I don't know how they're going to resolve. And in the beginning, it was that resolvement, and somehow it led to me, and then somehow it led to Scott coming into the picture again, which I just didn't fucking understand. And, you know, again, and I'll, you know, and I'll go to him and I'll message him and I'll listen. I'm like, you tell me if there's something that you and Tavi knows that I don't about this Jeff guy. Because if you are keeping something from me, that's technically you are acting against me as well. You're not doing it for me. You're all these claims you're doing, all these fast lawsuits and everything are taking a hit on the brand. When you make words like, let's scratch DPR off, like when you do stuff like that, it's like taking a big chunk out of me. It's just fucking me up. And it's like, I gotta like explain to these guys, hey, wait a second guys, like I'm trying to keep live alive, but it's not me that's like doing this. Like, trust me, I want us to be who we were more than anybody in the world. Like, I don't like the spotlight. I really don't. I fucking hate the spotlight. I say this in every single one of my shows. I hate that all the focus has now come on to me, because that was never the plan of to begin with. It was never like, we never talked about it in a way where we're like, yeah, let's just end with fucking DPR IAN. It was like we had all these DPRs in front of us, and fucking hell, like everything we've built it around, just like, I just can't like this is the aftermath. And guys, this is not like to say that we're blaming like Tarbin, and we're blaming, if anything, I'm blaming Scott, but like I'm not having a go at this guy right now. It's just no one even bothers to see this side of the spectrum of like, somebody has to do something for this guy, then somebody has to do something for this guy. What about Cream and 𝗟𝗏𝗃? It's not just about Ian live, it's also about Cream, 𝗟𝗏𝗃, Junyoung, John. It's about all of these guys, but what about them? You know, like what about them? I hate it when I see fans saying like, fuck, it's like, man, they only know Ian and they don't know Cream and 𝗟𝗏𝗃. They're not a real DPR fan. How can they know Cream and 𝗟𝗏𝗃 when Ian is the first, and when this is the introductory to that? Like it's my duty to make Cream and 𝗟𝗏𝗃 into something so big, so they have their own following, so they have their own acknowledgement. Because the realistic part of it is we are only assigned to what we see and what's exposed. We have to grow our own fan, and just because we have this whole DPR name and this whole legacy, it's not who we were. That kills me every single night. I can't sleep. I go down and I close my eyes and I think, fuck, what have we become? And then what do I have to turn up for to my fans? Because my fans need an answer. My fans don't deserve to be in the dark. Half our fans left the minute live left. So it's just like, all right, yeah, I'm just going to pretend like nothing's happened, and now now I have to base it on people's, on words, on some type of affirmation of like, you got to get out, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. I'm just so fucking, I fucking had it. Just with people that can't even give anything to me. I just fucking had it. What do I get out of it? Like people that are saying, oh yeah, you're like, you're exploiting it. What have I gotten out of it except for these fucking scars? Like what have I really gotten out of this? What have I got out of anything? And right now, even now, right, when you say, like how are we gonna make money, bro? I gotta step up my artistry. I gotta play your role, I gotta play Scott's role, and I gotta play my role now. And I have to triple the amount of work in order for us to fucking... Gotta look out for my people. I can't... And for those that are like wondering what the state is like now in DPR, I mean, over the last 3 years, we did a lot of things. Like we had 𝗟𝗏𝗃 come out. That's a big sense. Junyoung's brand has come out. Cream and 𝗟𝗏𝗃's combination, Cream solo album. You're telling me none of this, all of this meant nothing to me, even in the last prior 3 years. Like, it's like we're just kind of funneling through it. It's like, yeah, let's go look beyond this, man. Look beyond it. Come on, don't be stupid. You're being facilitated again. You're being used. You're being utilized in a very unfair, uncanny way. In a very fucking, like, you're being used, bro. And when I hear that from the dudes that are just out, not even in here, it's like, man, I can't fucking comprehend this somehow. Like, I just can't. Oh, but it's for you and everything. And it's like, all right. But what about these boys? What about these guys? Like, what do we do? The last 3 years have been probably the most turmoil without you, because I sincerely miss you. I sincerely miss how we were. I sincerely miss the team and who we were before. But if things can't come to, if like nothing can come too clear, like even after 2 or 3 years, like and you're telling me in the 2 years I wouldn't have done nothing. That's why I said, give me something that's hard and that's real. Give me something that's hard evidence, that's real enough, you know, that's like, that I can trust and I can at least somehow form something, solidify. Because what if you think, right? What if you made it? What if we're wrong? What if we're wrong about all of this? What then, bro? What about the dude that we're like fucking trying to defame right now? What about that dude? What if we're entirely wrong about this dude and then we just completely fucking obstructed this guy? What happens then? Is there no like... I'm in such a fucking awkward position right now, and I just decided, you know, I'm gonna finalize my decisions based on just evidence, because that's the only thing I can really go off of, and you can't really fucking blame me for doing that, hey? I just need something to be real, man. And I know for the audience, the last 3 years was just reconciling with who we were and what we were now, and just a comparison of that was fucking obstructing me from everything. Like our tour, I met the only thing that ever, our Reborn tour was a reminder to me of like who we were and who we are now, but yeah, I didn't have an answer for it. Like I missed who we were, even with all of that, you know. DPR IAN meant something because it was with DPR Live, to be completely honest. And when I lost it, I'm like, why am I even doing this? And then Arctic's like, man, I've got to do my own thing, and you know, Cream's like, I've got to come out with my own thing. And during those turmoils, I'm like, man, do I have to just use this as a distraction or what? Like, I'm on the fence. After the Reborn tour, and you know, it didn't do too well. I went insane. The whole album, Dear Insanity, was based on my insanity. Because during that period of time, there was too much drama on trying to find and adjust to a new team. It wasn't like how it was before, eh? But fuck, I was somehow ironically finding more ground. Finding more peace, but not with the peace of my vision for DPR. I still remember, like maybe it was a realizing, like, fuck, did I really enforce too much of my vision onto you? Did I really enforce too much onto this guy, where, like, I didn't even know what was happening? So I started, like, fucking beating myself. I'm like, yeah, fuck. Maybe that pressure just really got to this guy. And when he finally got he mustered enough independence and courage to do something of his own, he fucking went for it. And I remember that was the day I applauded this guy. I'm like, yo, you got it. You fucking got it. But fuck, I didn't know what was being taken away from me in my own district. And it took me 3 years to get over it. It took me about 3 years to get over. And here we are. And, you know, now I'm in a place where I have a new team. We have new structure. Everyone's being treated fairly, financially and everything. And for what, you know, and all of these things that we need to maybe uncover personally later on, like with our things, it's fine. But for the most part, I needed everyone to know the context of what's going on now with me, because everyone's just like fucking having a go at me, everyone's talking for me and all of that. Like, please guys, like, it's, trust me when I say DPR is in my best interest. Again, you're missing the point. Do I have to make a thing where I have to bring attention to how much somebody does and who does what? And maybe because everyone's making it personal, fucking hell. Like, I hate doing that. I hate becoming like that. I don't agree that I did enough for me to do all this. I agree that everybody had a huge role in this. Everyone went through it. Everyone was a victim. Everyone went through the demise. But the only part that nobody was really listening to or really heard was just my part of it. And I tried to keep from it, but fuck, if I take that context out of the story and what you're looking at is like, I get it. I get why everyone is like thinking that way. And which is why now it was the time I spoke up. It was purely for that, because it was harming everyone here. It was harming them. It was harming him. It was brooding me up. And when I see like instances of like Scott coming back into the picture, and like all of that, like just fucking fucks me up a little bit, because it's like, did we not forget? Did we not forget how this all fucking propelled into shape? Did we not forget? So don't come at me for not like controlling myself, my part of that. I did everything I can to fucking hold that to my wit. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I wrote like all these fucking things I wanted to say, but I just went off task. Like, you guys gotta understand, there's just so many things to fall on if things don't go right on the other end. Like, if you could have more instances where you meet like another Scott. What if you meet another dude that actually fucks you up even double time? Like, what happens then? Like, there's just all these what ifs that I just can't plant my judgments on anymore, and I can't really go forward, because I don't want a movement that's like saying, yo, get him out. If that should have been done, that should have been done ages ago. Give him what's his, like, again, it's not about that. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that. Just like the people that I've done it with, it's just, as long as I know you guys are solid, man, as long as you guys care, well, that's just literally what I honestly care about. Some gratification along the way, yes, it would help quite a bit. I'm always open to fair agreement, but again, nothing was really finalized by me when it came to a lot of these, like, back and forth, like who gets what, who gets this, like it. And then the fact that everyone's making it about that is what pissed me off. It's what fucking infuriated me, because it was like, bro, it was not, and it's not even about that. It might be about that for them, and for whatever reason, please respect that. Don't have a go at them, because it's just maybe their intention was that. I'm telling you how it is from my perspective, from my personal thing, from my own mouth. My goal right now is just to rebrand and rebuild us into who we are going to be into the future. And I can't really do it if some things are just kind of being like in the way. And I'm not saying it's going to be like fixed in anytime soon, but for the record, ladies and gentlemen, no one is fucking in my ears here. No one is like manipulating this, manipulating. If not, I do have an advantage point in this situation, but I just am not seeing what everyone is trying to do. Like, I'm open arms right now. Just fucking, if we want to somehow work out together, like, let's just do something in a way where there's like, where I think a lot of people in a different party are having misconcepted ideas that I'm like this, or I'm getting affected, which I'm not. No one's brainwashing me or anything. I'm quite happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been I'm actually the happiest I've ever been in the last 10, 15 years of my life. With all of this said and done, I am. I'm grateful for the new team that I have now, like June, Sue, Claudia, Ronald, Josh, Jono, Christina, Amy, like all of these people, right? Like, are at the stem of Amanda, so I'm sorry if I forgot your name, Hugh, and all of these other people, by the way, are at the stem of what builds the support structure, because they can help Chunyon, Cream, Arctic, and all of these other people that are working in these infrastructures around the clock for us. I'm always going to be forever grateful for that, because if not, I would never have picked myself back up to this very moment. I would not. It's like we're skipping the whole prologue, and we're skipping the whole narrative. We're jumping to conclusions, really. That's really all we're ever done. But again, today was just for me to clear up the air with what was going on and what my life story was. I just needed someone to talk to. I know it's kind of sad that I have to like sit down and talk to a phone and about like all of what's really happened to me. It's kind of like, it's therapeutic, but at the same time it's not, because it's like, it's kind of, I just don't know how it really boiled down to this very moment. Because like, I hate being victimized, guys. I really do. Like, trust me, at the end of the day, I hate being so victimized. So please, like, just, save the pita party, I beg you, I'm good. All of the things that I went through was needed for me to come out on top. Were some experiences necessary than the other? No, some weren't, some were not. But necessary. Like I needed it. I needed it for myself. So with that being said, I hope from all of this, we somehow find a conclusion to a lot of these things. Another thing I want to tell you guys is, for our fans, like, again, I know more than anything you guys want us to be that, right? And I apologize deep down in my heart for letting it get to the point where it got completely skewed. And I just promise you, my best interest is what I do, even for life, right? Like what I want to do for us in the future. Like it's not like I haven't given up. I was about to, but I haven't. And I'm willing to step up again. I'm willing to find a way into this light. I'm really willing to step up again and continue this and really figure things out and work up, because at the end of the day, we deserve it. I deserve it. Our fans deserve it. And it's something that we can do. We can come out from these fucking ashes. And if I was somebody that gave up, what would I be representing as well, personally, to my fans? Like my fans, I know, struggle to a certain extent with their own problems. I just didn't want to be the voice of somebody that was like the result of their, I guess you could say, their demise. And I did not want to give that a go. I didn't want to give a go of me losing. And you know, it was a saying that I've learned from all of this. It's like, if you want to show a person who you are, then don't show the person who you think they need. And that was something that was what really got to me, and that's something I've learned. Again, a lot of all these things that I've ever talked about was because we had our own choices. We should hold ourselves own accountability for whatever we decide to do going forward, and whatever we did in the past. Let bygones be bygones, but at least know this. And again, for our fans, thank you for always supporting us. Thank you for supporting 𝗟𝗏𝘃. Thank you for supporting even like, I don't know if you're like, but just thank you for supporting everyone in general. That's what we want. Like, we don't want it to be like this whole war thing, right? And here's another note to add to that. Some people can like some people for a different reason, right? Like, you should never ever bash somebody for liking somebody for a completely different to yours, whether it be more in depth or whether it be shallow or not. Let somebody like somebody for their own reason. It's like a banana, right? Like, we look at a banana and somebody might be like, I like the texture of the banana. I like the way it looks. I like the yellow going to a bit of the brown spots. I love that, you know, that's what appeals to me. Somebody could be like, yeah, but I love the taste of the banana, right? But we shouldn't be at war with the one same fucking banana that we like, right? The banana would just be looking at you and be like, hey, I just want you guys to all enjoy it in your own rightful way. Because everyone has to be innately being able to experience their own experiences in their own way without being judged by it. It's just not fair, guys. It doesn't make you more or less of a person. It doesn't make you more DPR, less DPR. I say this to my team all the time. Just because you're here for a short time and he's here for a long time does not make you any less DPR than she or he is. You know, it's like how the more you know and the more you don't. You know, like, I know, and plus, trust me, I adore that we have like this huge pride and this huge thing of who we are. And because that's being so obscured, we reminisce about these nostalgic times, like, fuck, I miss when DPR was like that. I miss when DPR was like that. Trust me, I'm the one to do that the most out of everybody. I'm trying to set the record straight. I'm trying to get things aligned. I'm trying to make things work here, while doing these shows and while trying to greet our new fans into this fandom. But let's not shoo them away. Let's, if anything, let's be respectful. Let's be insightful. Let's teach them. Let's teach them in a way. And if they don't speak our language, fine. Don't go to the measures of having to open yourselves up and then them fucking going off and fucking off. it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me. I'm telling you first of hand, it doesn't bother me, right? It bothers me when I see you guys bothered by it. Oh man, like it gives me fucking a stroke looking at this and just thinking like, oh my God, like I don't want you to feel invalidated by the way you like somebody. Because here's the thing, what if somebody just knows me, not Cream and Arctic, for example? What if somebody likes, what if somebody came across Cream, right? But for that person, Cream is the most important person. Doesn't matter if it's Arctic or Ian in DPR, doesn't matter. Cream is important to them because Cream saved this person's life, A, B, and C. And to them, you should never invalidate that experience to them because it's innately their own. Why are you taking that away from them? Why are you trying to skew their love for that person? It's like it's the same thing. That doesn't make them not like or not appreciate Ian and Live and you know Arctic and Cream and Chunyong. Like that's not to say we don't want to see that. Like we don't want to see that. We want everyone to just love people for who they are. Some people might like this, but some people might not. Like I know a majority of the people that like DPR Live's music doesn't fuck with mine as well. Like it's just, how can you expect people to have the same interest and disinterest in the people? You can have the same respect for the brand, but that's we don't have to keep edging everyone to speak out about it. You know, we know the love's there. We know our day one fans. We know the pride, and some people have more than the other, and we appreciate that so much. You don't even understand. But at the same time, you know, like I just wanted to make that clear because I sometimes see these things accumulating, and you know, like we favor this and we favor. No, we don't. We don't favor anything. It's just we're here to just give you guys a show, inspire you, really get inspired back by you. And we love every instances of every moment that we build with you guys. And I mean it, every single one of you. That is what reflects on what we do. And Live could say the same thing about exactly the same thing. Arctic will say the same thing. Cream will say the same thing. Everyone will say the same thing. I promise you. So again, with that being said, guys, we don't have to all get along. I get it. But you know, for the most part, let's just freaking hug and kiss. Doesn't have to be like that. You know, get consent first and then do it. But generally speaking, like, come on, guys. Like, this is just the DNA of us. Like, it's just, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Let's not destroy each other is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I've spoken for too long. I don't know if there's any things I'm missing out. Like, no, I'm not against Tywin. No, I'm not having to go at this. Is Jeff exploiting me? No, he's not. No, he's not exploiting me. What about the Masters? It was, again, we're going to have an open discussion. Tywin's already agreed to this and this and this. Trademark. Was that really the most necessary thing for me? No. Was it necessary for them to make me have it? Probably. You know, where did the money come from before DPR started? And I just told you, such and such and such. And this is why my support for DPR is probably a lot more passionate. And this is probably where the bias comes from. Why speak about it now? Because the rumors affect the people's jobs here. This is to set context, to ask for the evidence, to maybe set evidence, maybe peer pressure people into providing the evidence a lot more speedy and needy, so we can kind of finally come to the light and really agree upon the decisions and finally start fucking moving forward. Am I okay? Yes, no, but are we all not okay and okay? We just have to battle life. We just have to get back up, just kind of brute force through it, because at the end of the day, it's worth it. You're worth it. You know, you have people that care about you. You wish them well always, and they wish you well. I just have to be more attuned to it. Again, I'd hold myself accountable for a lot of things that I've done wrong with this. A lot of things that I made mistakes with, maybe peer pressuring a lot of people. I didn't want to come across like that. And again, with all this said and done, I want you guys to still support Live the same. I still want you guys to support us the same. I still want you guys to keep this legion up. It's like I can't wish for anything else, right? But just know, with context, this is everything that came from me. This is what I have to say. To be honest, I'm not really looking for an answer back from anybody. It's just more like Okay, everyone said their piece, guys. Okay, right? Everyone said their piece. This is my piece. I'm okay now. Like, I'm good. I'm really good. I'm fully, like, I've settled it. Like, I've resolved. My team has helped me get over these internal issues. You know, like, fucking, how can I not, to be honest? How can I not with all of that shit that happened? And I know everyone's going through their own battle, so please do not diminish anyone else's struggle, because everyone has went through something. I'm just talking to you specifically about mine. Thank you. And again, whatever comes to fruition after this, let it be, and we'll find a way to resolve it. But for now, I hope things have become more clear for everybody. Thank you. I love you all, and trust me, I want to say I love you all. I love you all. And again, no hard feelings for anybody, really. This is just a matter of the case. I'm just saying how it is. Thank you.